Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky 194, and appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video. And we're here at Donington Park and in the USCP server in ACC. And of course, I'm just showing some highlights. I had some trouble trying to get it recorded, so got that figured out, got it fixed. But at the time, I didn't know there was going to be a problem, so I wasn't able to record it. But that's okay. We'll just show some highlights. I started on pole, qualified at a like a 127.5, I think, something like that. So you know, for me, that was a pretty good time. You know, I'm really happy with the AMG. We'll talk more about that as we go. I got Simmons right there behind me. Right there. He used to be called All the Boost. He used to if you've been watching the channel a lot, and he used to run the CP server all the time. He doesn't do it that often now. I guess he does league. He's in the league. And then of course you have some Lexuses back there too, which looks like they had melee back there and wrecked. Somebody lost it and wrecked. But then I come up here and tires are cold, and I think I got in here just a little bit too hot, and the car jumped sideways a little bit, so I lost all my drive. He pulled up next to me. You can hear him over there. And of course, he had position, so I just let him go through. No sense of fighting right now. So good start by Simmons. Going from third all the way up to the lead. It's amazing the draw. I mean, the BMWs accelerate so well. I mean, just from those really slow hairpin turns, and it just takes off. I thought I was doing pretty good out of there, but still, no matter what I did, I couldn't keep up with them out of those slow turns. You'll notice a lot of these cones are there on and all that, but they were gone when most of them were gone during the race. I had problems with that turn right there, and we'll talk more about that as we go. That turn there really was causing me issues because I couldn't get the car to rotate like I wanted to through there, and it'd either rotate too much and slide, or it would not rotate enough, and I would understeer and go run off the. So that's something I got to look at on the setup and see if I can I want to be careful because I really like this setup, but I just want to just try to find just a little bit more improvement right there, because if I could improve that one corner, I really think it would, drop my time some more. So that's what I really need to do. If I could really attack that and go through there, not have to tiptoe or not have to run off into the grass or whatever. That was just a lot of time killing my time. But we both had real similar paces. Grass again. I must have done that a half a dozen times. Of course, we do have a pit stop. So we don't have to worry about really trying to be kind to the tires. We can pretty much push as hard as we want to. Another awesome looking, track as far as, the way they modeled it. I think, they did such, Donington looks just fabulous. You can even see the weathering in the sign. I mean, the cracks and every little teeny, detail. It's crazy how good it looks. Love the rolling hills. Really pretty. It was just kind of cool how, again, you could see where he was strong and I was strong, and each car had its advantages. I mean, I thought I was really good on the brakes, but I think he was just a little bit better. The BMW is very, very good on the brakes, and he was definitely taking advantage of it because he would close up on me a lot. It seemed like through the faster stuff, I was a little bit better than he was, and he was a little bit better in the real tight stuff. That's what it seemed like, anyway. He's just pushing, as far as not making any errors. I'm making a few tiny mistakes, and of course he just ekes out a little bit of tenths here, a couple tenths there, and I mean, when you're close to equal pace, it's really hard to be making that up. You really got to go 110% to even start to close back in. Eke out a little bit, and I'd bring it back in, and then he would eke out a little bit, and I think there's coming up here somewhere, I think I slide or something, and then he was pulled back out again. Yeah, slide there. I lost time right there. Different camera angle. Of course, there's me. My virtual me. Got the bonnet view, and of course you got the view back there, which you get a different perspective, different sound. said, we're both running similar times. I mean, I'll gain a 10th on him. See, there I am off in the grass again. I mean, same turn. Real bad. See, that's where I lost a lot of time right there. I'm not the greatest through the chicane and these hairpins down here anyway, no matter what car I'm in. It just seems, I know it's always nervous about going too deep. You go too deep and then you end up running way wide and just scrubbing tires and everything else. And so I was really trying not to overdrive it going through there, but sometimes it's one of those things, you take it too easy, then you lose time. So it's just definitely a very fine spot to hit as far as your brakes and hitting your apex and just all those kinds of things. So he's pulled out a 1.5 second lead now. Still holding at 1.5. He held at that for a little while. I knew at this time I had to start pushing more than I really wanted to, just because if I didn't, I was never going to be able to catch it back up. So I knew that I was going to have to start pushing pretty much maxed out. To try to either stay with them and not lose any more time, or hopefully get it, bring the gap down. Since I made some mistakes and basically, had a gap. See, it's up to 2 seconds now. So hard with these cars. These GT3 cars are so evenly matched most of the time. I mean, and really, to be honest, I know we all always, just like in real life, you always trying to, want a little bit of advantage with BOP, but really, they're all so close that it's really hard when you have, both guys near the same pace. It's just really hard to make up any kind of ground. So you really got to, get everything you can get out of it to try to make up the ground, or you just can't, you just can't do it. So I knew I was going to have to take some chances and start pushing really hard and just pushing everything out to the max, which I didn't really want to do, just because that's usually when you're going to make a mistake. Running consistent, so it's been a while since I've raced him, so it was nice to see him back racing. But I mean, he was, when he used to come to the CP server all the time before, he was usually pretty strong with the Lexus. So. Setup I have on it now is different from the one. It's a new one, so it is not the same setup. So I think it's running better than it did. And again, I still think there's more in it, just because the way it was handling good, but it just that needs a little bit more I can see if I can get it to handle better through that one turn without losing anything else, losing somewhere else, and it'll be a game because I know I was losing time there, either by having to take it too easy or running off in the grass. Brought it down a couple tenths. She got that view too. See, look at that. Look at the inside of the car. Good night. I mean, look at that. That's what I always say. Sometimes I like just looking at the insides when it's, in the showroom, just looking at the inside. I mean, it's pure art. I mean, the detail in there is absolutely amazing. Just, wow. Look at all that. Kind of a different, I like that little bonnet view. Jump back in my car. Trying to give you all some different camera shots so it's not just the same shot all the time. Passenger side, a little bit different view. The gearing of the AMG fits really good too. So again, which I want to touch on more in upcoming videos, but gears make a huge difference on, it's like the first the first key is if the car is going to be really strong at that track, does the gears fit the track? And, with the ratios, because obviously the GT3 rules, you can't change the gear ratios. The way they come from the factory, the way it comes when it's, homologated is the way it is. And then they got to if they change it like they did the Ferrari, did the Evo, they changed the fifth or sixth gear, whatever, they changed it, or if they make any little revisions on it, it's got to be homologated again. So again, that's the way it comes, so that's the way it's got to stay at every track. So you just got to deal with it, which, I kind of like that because you got to just work around it and deal with it. I don't mind that. See, I was way off the grass there, but it right off, pretty much like I've said, right off the truck, it might give a little bit of advantage to one car because their gear ratios just fit that track. And you can hear, to me when I say it fits that track, you're coming up the corners pretty much maxed out on a gear without hitting the limiter, and when you're going through the corners, it just matches up. You're not having to grab another gear for a little while and back down and other things like that, or the corner is too, just like first gear's low in the AMG. I really think it should be good through here. It's, it's really low, so it helps you slow down and you can really get going off the corner. But, but the BMW is even stronger as far as coming off the corners. really didn't have to make any extra shifts, you know, just to cover it, just to cover the, you know, RPM without hitting the limiter. Because if you're hitting the limiter, you're losing time also. So. There, I'm pretty much winding right out. That's perfect. And you come up here, and you're right up to the, you know, wind it right out again. I mean, that's just perfect. Always said I like the way the gears are in the AMG, but sometimes that's to your disadvantage. So again, it just all depends on the track. Sometimes first gear is too low for a corner, so you got to use second, and then it's just and in between. So you know you get that a lot. You get that sometimes too. Then I brought it down to 1.1. So, you know, the time's coming down a little bit at a time. I'm trying to close them back up again. So I don't have such, you know, I blew that. I went there way too hot or just pushed wide. I was a 2-second lead, now I'm down to a second. So again, I mean, I'm really happy with that just because I know, you know, we got pretty close to the same pace and, you know, we're coming up to our pit stop and I've been wanting to get the gap back down so, you know, we're there after we make our pits, we can decide the race. I come to the pits. Love the livery of that AMG. Going back out. I don't know what he was doing. He's just sitting there, and then he started to go. He started rolling. I was just, well, whatever, I'm going. So, I wasn't sure what he was doing, or if he's having a problem. A few more laps. I see Clifford's in there too. I mean, he was having a good, strong race. Jill's gone when they were. When I went through there, they were already knocked out of the way a long time ago. comes out of the pits right there. That's him right there. So I actually was able, the very few times in my life, to have passed somebody from a pit stop. So I was kind of happy about that, just because usually it's about 90% the other way, usually. So now he's on the hunt, because he's right behind me. I'm thinking right now, I mean, I'm trying to push as hard as I can, because I know tires are not fully up to temperature yet, but he's really pushing hard. He's wanting to, get to my closest, close the gap as much as he can. So he's pushing really hard for cold tires. I'm really conscious of that turn, because all it'll take, and he was strong through there, so I mean, all it's going to take is, we were both pretty close to the same, but I mean, if I make a big mistake, that's all it's going to take for him to be right there. Like it was on the start of the race, where I slid and he just drove on the inside and went. Yeah, it'd be nice. I put in a comment. It'd be really nice. I kind of wish, on my wish list, I kind of wish ACC would let you do some more stuff with liveries. That's another thing I do a lot. If I'm just dead, if I'm worn out or tired, and just relaxing or something. A lot of times I'll try to mess with liveries just to have some fun on whatever car. I enjoy it. I wish I wish they would give you a little bit more things that you could do. I wish they'd let you have carbon fiber, like a, different carbon, like they do with the helmets. Same kind of thing. A mat, a gloss, or something. I wish they'd let you do some of those too. I mean, I don't see that in there anywhere. So I just wish there's a few things that I wish that they'd let you do. Maybe add some sponsors or this or that or whatever. It would be kind of neat. I know they probably have to get permission from people or from those companies to do it, but I don't see why they wouldn't care. But yeah, I mean, I just wish it would be a little bit. It's nice. I mean, I still think it's really nice, and I have fun with it. Just again, I just wish they would kind of expand on it. Just like the championship, single player. I just kind of wish they would just expand it a little bit. I mean, I'm not talking about, like the MotoGP or whatever, where you go and get into all that and you do testing and you do, I don't know. I really don't. That is not a big deal to me. I don't really care about that. Where you got guys out, they're developing stuff and upgrading your engine and upgrading, you can't do that anyway because you got BOP. So to me, it's not that big a deal. I don't really see any advantage to that. I think they got a great system with the way it is. I just wish they had a little bit more immersion to it. A little bit more immersion as far as, the only thing they have is at the end, you get the guys in the winner's circle or whatever if you finish on the podium, and that's all they have. There's nothing else. I wish they maybe change that and change it up a little bit or something. Maybe just anything to add to that. Any of your comments would be nice. Any ideas? It'd be great to hear. I mean, I don't know if anybody else plays stuff like, plays the single player by itself. I mean, I don't video it. I mean, I'm probably going to do some more of that, but not too often. But I do, sometimes I do some little races or whatever on my own just to see how, it is and to get practice. I really like to practice in a race. It's a lot different than when you're just running around doing a setup, because, you got to race and you got to move the car around and you have to do all these different things compared to when, different circumstances compared to when you're just doing a setup. You're doing you can go anywhere you want to. You got any line you want to. So again, I like being in that and being in close quarters with other cars, and that way you're just a good way to practice. That's the way I look at it. So see, we're evenly, of course, now we're running high 27s, so, which, isn't bad for me. I think there's room for improvement for sure. See how good he is on the brakes there. Really good on the brakes. Really good in those slow corners and things like that. I mean, he makes up a lot of time through there. You see how tight he goes through there. Here's my fast lap up to that time. It's 27.8. See him close right in on me right there. I mean, again, because that corner is just, I probably took it a little bit too slow because I didn't want to mess it up. Goes over the bumps, great, over that chicane. The Foggy S right there, it just goes right over there, right through that thing, no problem at all. So I know the shocks are dialed in really good. I'm pretty happy with them. It just needs some other little small adjustments to help it rotate and not slide and things like that. So again, we'll go over that at the setup. I was actually taking this corner a lot better than I was before in the Ferrari. When I was racing that this last week, I was doing a lot better in the AMG. Probably just practice, so it doesn't feel as wide as the Ferrari. The Ferrari feels so wide for some reason. It's just a perception of it. Even hitting that bump there, I mean, it just took it no problem. Didn't even upset the car or nothing. So definitely using Motec to adjust, my shocks. I'm getting better and better and better with it, knowing what's working and what's not. So again, they're even, from the beginning when I was setting, using it compared to now, it's just getting better. it's just like anything. It's just like practicing with the car, doing setups, and now and of course, I've been using Motec for a little while. The more you use it, the better you get with it, and all that. So again, I think my shock packages are improving, and again, I'm always trying to improve. Again, you see it consistent. I mean, now it's just 8.4, now it's at 27.89, so it's right there as far as consistency, and that's with him pushing, him right on me. So I love that shot right there. Just right by. And see, I slid a little bit there. Caught it, but it didn't. I don't think it hurt me that much. But I mean, that's all. I didn't mind a little sliding, but I didn't want the thing to go completely, drift mode. So he went right over that bump. Didn't even upset it or anything. So we'll go and to the last lap. I pulled away. He didn't have enough fuel, so he ended up running out of gas. So he actually I almost hit that guy. I don't know what he was doing. He was just, I guess he was worried about me or something. I don't know what he was doing. Like I said, I guess he just started dropping back really fast. So I kind of assumed that he didn't have enough fuel because I didn't see him wreck. He just was really dropping back quick, like losing a second a lap or a second. And I didn't think it was because he didn't have pace. I thought that was probably what it was, but he ended up running out of fuel, and I think he actually got pushed over the line to finish the race. So it was good, but see, he's already dropped down to 5th already. So he's dropping real fast. So I think he's just about out. I think he's out of gas now or something. I don't remember anyway, but this is the last lap. Of course, I still got 8 liters left, so I got plenty of fuel, more than enough. I was really happy. I mean, finished 3rd the other day in the Ferrari here, Donington and LFM, and then second here, or first. I mean, not second. I mean, winning this race. See, there he goes. You can see he gets pushed, he gets hit, and gets pushed across the line because he was just about to the finish line to finish the race. The guy pushed him across. But anyway, that's that. I know it was a little longer, but it was a good race. I thought it was a really good race. Clifford finished good. He finished 2nd. So now let's move on and go ahead and go to the setup and take a look at that. All right. Well, that was fun. I liked the race. That race was a really fun race. I enjoyed it a lot. And I wish hopefully I have some more of those, whether it's an LFM or CP server or AI or whatever. But anyway, I did some more laps, made a good amount of adjustments, which I'll go over. Just small ones though, nothing major. Again, I didn't want to get going and end up losing what I have, but I did improve upon it, and it is better than what it was in every way, really. Just little bits though. And that's what you just keep creeping up on it, and it just gets a little bit better. So let's go over a lap. See, that was a 127.97, and you see my fuel, I got 73 liters. So, I mean, I'm still heavy on fuel. It's better through there. there's always room for improvement, but I think it is better. But it's really better everywhere. It's better through here. Better through this fast right-hander up here. I messed that up. If I would have cut that where I needed to, I would have probably gained another 10th at least. So I kind of missed that, and it's still. Goes right through there really well. It's composed, everything I would want, and it's super drivable. Really enjoy to drive, to be honest. That was a 127.76. So for me, that's a really good time, especially considering the amount of fuel. I mean, when I was heavy with fuel in the race, I was running the best I could do was like a teen, I think, low 28. And I mean, there's more in it. I know it could run a mid. If I wouldn't have blown that one turn, I probably would have ran almost my qualifying time from before. So, again, which means if you were running real low on fuel, you probably could go pretty much good amount faster. I would think. I mean, I think you could get definitely into the lower 27s with it with a killer lap, and giving it all. So, I'm really happy with it. But it's definitely, even with race fuel load, around 80 liters, it should, you can run mid 27s, mid to higher 27s for me, and to me that's fast for me. I know it isn't fast for some of these alien guys, but I'm really happy with the time. So let's go over the setup. I just like the way it drives. It actually was really fun to drive. Really feels good to drive. Front tires 24/7 left front, 25/4 left rear. And the right side's 25.9 right front and right rear. The toe is a negative 0.2, the camber at negative 3.4, and the caster at 9. Now, those are some of the things I just adjusted a little bit. The toe, I just gave it a little bit more negative toe, and that kind of helped the turn in. And if you can just help that turn in a little bit, maybe again, it's just creeping up on it without. I don't want to get it into an oversteer thing. So that's what I did. I did that, and it seemed to help the turn in to where I was better with that one turn, going at, that right-hand turn there. And also, it kind of helped in those hairpins, too. So I really didn't think about that, to be honest. But when I went into the hairpins, it turned into the hairpins better also. So I think it helped me also there. So, again, I think it was just little, and a lot of places it had just helped a little bit. The caster I shortened up a little bit just to get the car to react. Since you're making so many turns all the time, different kinds of turns, tight turns, fast, shorter turns. And so basically I just shortened that up a little bit. The toe on the rear is 0.1, not negative, but it's just 0.1. And the camber is negative 3. Electronics are 4 and 4 and 1. Of course, fuel had 80-something liters. Mechanical had 5 on the anti-roll bar. 52 on the brake bias. You can start off at 53, but that's how good it is on the brakes. It's really, really good on the brakes. I think it's even improved more than what it was before also. So that's another thing, because I ran a little bit more brake bias than I was in the race, especially starting out. I did turn it down a little bit after a while, but starting out, this is more. So the springs are 143,000 in the front, with an 800 bump stop rate and a 10 bump stop range. One of the few things I did not touch. I did not mess with that at all. In the rear, the springs are 107,000 with a 600 bump stop rate and a 16 bump stop range. And that I did. The only thing I did that is tighten up the bump stop range some, just so in some of those corners it doesn't pitch over on the rear end or anything like that too much, and limits the travel. That's about the only thing I did with that. Anti-roll bars 3 in the preload on the diff is 50. Left those alone. Shocks on the front are 5979, and on the rear they're 3268. So those I went through Motec a couple times. Again, just one click here, one click there. Nothing dramatic. Using going over Motec multiple times, but basically it is really good. I mean, I think it's handling really good, and going over the bumps and all the transitions. Arrow got 45 in the front, 74 in the rear with a 9 splitter, 11 rear wing, and a 3 in the brake ducts. And the front arrow variation is a negative .1. Now let's go over this. This is probably the most that I changed. The front ride height is the same. I did not change it. So you can't, if you go down, it doesn't change anything. So if you go down one more click, well, I did go down a point, but it's already getting really low. I didn't really want it to go any lower. So what I did is I added splitter. I added 1 or 2 clicks of the splitter. So that gives a little bit more aero front end grip to it, and that helps with the toe in, helps with the turn in, and getting the front end to turn where I need it to turn. So then with the wing, I didn't have max wing. I think it was a click down or something. It was almost max wing, but I went ahead and maxed it out. And that way it keeps the car from sliding. Sometimes you're so aggressive on the brakes that you get the back end sliding, especially if you're trail braking and things like that, and you lose time every time you do that. So, and speed-wise here, it's not real fast. It was 145, 147, something like that. It's not super fast here. So you need grip. That's what you need. You don't need straightaway speed is really not that big a deal. And to be honest with you, I was carrying so much more speed through there, that troubled section, that sometimes when I was on a really good lap, I would need to go up another gear where I didn't have to do that before. So that's how much more speed I'm carrying, even though I have one more click in the wing, is because I'm carrying with that much more corner speed, and it's carrying it all the way down. So basically, in the ride height, I actually lowered it down a click. Since I gave more front end balance, balance to the front, basically put more of the weight of the car or the balance of the car on the front of the car. First, I tried to raise the rear just like one click, just one click. That's it. It was too much. It was too oversteery, and the back end just wanted to slide a little here and there, and that's not the way I wanted to go. So I actually went down a click to get the car more balanced on the brakes, because you have these huge heavy braking, in those hairpins, and in a lot of the areas you just got you have some small brake, short, just hit the brakes and off, and then you got some really hard braking. Turn one's good hard braking. So I wanted the car balanced and not happy dance in the back end. So I lowered it down actually one click from what it was in the race, and added the wing. And like I said, just a little wing. It was almost maxed anyway. But that just added that much more balance, support, and really drivability, because now the car drives. It's really fun to drive, in my opinion. I just think it's really, really fun. You can attack. You got to, you can trail brake some, and it doesn't step out. And it just handles great. I really, really enjoy it around here. It makes Donington even funner. So I hope you try it out. Any feedback or comments are appreciated. I love talking to everybody. I try to answer as much as I can. I try to read everything. I might miss something here or there, but I really try to read most everything. And again, your support is much appreciated. And I saw we just broke over 4,100 subscribers, so trying to get us up to 5,000 would be great. So let's just keep sharing it. If you have leagues or anything else you're doing, if you want to share the video or let anybody know, I'd appreciate it. Again, that's support that I thank everybody for. Of course, a link to this setup will be in the description, and of course, I have a PayPal link in the description also, if you want to help support the channel that way, and that's much appreciated no matter what it is. And I appreciate all the good comments and all your support, and I hope you come back soon. Y'all take care. See ya.